shops and boutiques just around the corner. Continue the fun in downtown Lee Summit at a retro arcade bar. Discover your new beer at one of our 6 locally owned breweries. Cool off with some handcrafted cocktails at happy hour. In the night with live music and good company. Lee Summit, Missouri.
Hello, Lee Summit. Here's your flash briefing for the week of December 11th. City Council will meet for regular session Tuesday night at 6 in Council Chambers in City Hall. If you can't watch, quickly catch up on City Council meetings by subscribing to the Council Debrief newsletter, which breaks down 3 to 4 key agenda items. Subscribe at cityofls.net. The city is still accepting applications for the 2024 Citizens Leadership Academy. The 7-week program offers residents and business owners a unique opportunity to learn about the inner workings of municipal government and engage with elected officials and city employees. The academy is limited to 20 participants. Apply at cityofls.net. And the Lee Summit Police Department has partnered with behavioral health providers to provide a path to recovery for people seeking treatment for a substance use disorder. It's called Safe Passage. Participation in the program is voluntary and begins when an individual requests help by calling 911, walking into a police headquarters, or approaching a police officer. Officers would immediately connect individuals with treatment and recovery resources. Learn more at cityofls.net. Thanks for listening and have a great week.
Traditionally, we think as police officers, those responding to law enforcement needs within the community. But honestly, we are there to serve our citizens, and our citizens do go into crisis. They do have mental health crises, and we're being called to those scenes on a regular basis. In order to help serve those citizens better, we did initiate the Crisis Intervention Team Program. These are officers that are specially trained to de-escalate crisis situations. Recently, we've brought co-responders onto the scene, licensed qualified mental health professionals housed within our police department, and they respond with those officers directly to those scenes where a crisis is occurring so they can interact with that citizen and get them the help they need right there on that scene.
The co-responders are either bachelor or master level in a behavioral health related field. They wear plain clothes, they don't carry weapons or anything like that.
I have a police radio that I listen to all day. Listen for, those key words: mental health, behavioral health, crisis.
There's a lot of officers that just call for me. I have my own radio number.
I also have the ability to self-dispatch to them and say 982 is en route.
Officers en route, 914.
So typically I arrive after they've made it safe. I'll make contact and get kind of the rundown, and then I just kind of jump right in.
Like, hey, my name's Allison. I'm a mental health professional. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to take you to jail or arrest you.
Sometimes all a person needs is a voice, someone neutral, someone outside that, can listen. I do a lot of safety planning, including family, their support network, who's close to you. If they're home alone, who can come over and hang out with you today? Can we lock away your sharps? Can we put up your meds? Do you need meds? Can we get you over to the urgent care to get you assessed for your medications? Some of them also are like, oh, I'm so glad you came. This made me feel so much better.
Our main goal as the co-responders is to, one, get people connected to the services that they need, and also divert from emergency rooms and jails.
And they almost get a different view of the police responding. That lets me know you care and the officers care.
Please, please, how can we help you?
My husband has...
In 2020, we had 722 mental health related calls for service. 2022, by that time, 1,479. These mental health related calls for service are increasing. How we're responding to that is increasing the number of crisis intervention team officers we have available, as well as the number of co-responders we have available to respond on these calls.
So what I think is important for the community to know about the co-responder program is that we're here, we exist. All you have to do when you call 911 is ask for us. Say, hey, I want a co-responder to respond to this crisis, and we'll go. I was really struggling about 8 years ago on my personal journey with mental health, and I met some amazing social workers and amazing programs that have helped me get to where I am today. I really couldn't see myself doing anything else. We want to help, and that's what we love to do.
So I had a client, we got a call, she had some suicidal ideations, and she really felt that she had nobody. And and getting to know her story and getting to know who comes around and sees you, well, then we found a support person and they responded immediately. And we made a plan. I called back and checked on her in an hour, and then I checked on her in 2 hours. We were able to get her into the additional services to where she talks to someone every week or more. I just took a person that really just thought they had nobody and nobody would show up for them, and show them you do. And you'll be amazed who is in your corner if you just simply say, I need a little help.
Welcome to the Lee Summit Sign Department. We are going to walk you through our process from start to finish. We make signs as needed here. It's not like we just go out into the field and place a speed limit sign here, no parking here. Our traffic engineers, they go through and they'll do field studies. They'll send us down an engineering work order for us to go out, place new signs or remove signs as needed. Coming from the material, our blanks come in and they're just aluminum blanks. We can put our white, our red, our fluorescent yellow, green, whatever. And basically what it looks like is just that there. Throw it up into the roller. And once we got it covered, take it to our work table here, and Tim will cut the corners, cut all the access off to where it's lined up right. As far as the plotter and the software that we use, there's a street name sign there, and he's gonna go ahead and print that out on the plotter so you can see the plotter and how it operates and runs. There's standards for the height, even just on letters on the sign blank. Basically what we have on the computer there is it's pretty much set up to those. And it goes through, it's got a very small but sharp needle that goes through and cuts everything out letter by letter. Once that's done cutting, our next stage would be bringing it over here. Currently picking out the sign letters right now. We call it weeding or picking or however you want to call it. Next, putting it on the transfer tape. Then after it's taped, we bring it over to the roller. That's where we apply it to the actual sign blank. And we'll roll it through one time just to get the air bubbles out. And the last stage is basically just taking the transfer tape off the front of it. And there's a finished product of the street name sign. We'll take you out to the field and show you our process that we go through. We're going to go out and follow our sign guys and get something installed for you. This is where we check our underground utilities. Tim, you got AT&T?
AT&T's back here.
Evergy, Google, so we should be good to go. We normally put all of our stuff together out in the field. Then once the base is installed, we'll go ahead and put the post in there. These come up too. Perfect. And that's how we do it. Simple, quick.
It's extremely rewarding overall. Just the fact of working with other council people and other volunteer commission members that are so involved and care so much about making this community better. It sort of kind of lifts your own spirits by being involved in that kind of environment with other people like that. For many years, I was a typical resident, raising a family, going to work, in many cases leaving the city for employment, and went through a leadership class through the chamber, learned a lot about our city and learned about all the great amenities and resources we have, and was asked if I was interested in volunteering on a commission. I said yes, and kind of the rest is history. I've just completed my third year on city council, And so looking forward to finishing strong with this first term and look forward to continuing to serve this community. My thing is that there's so many talented people in this community that believe in so many different initiatives. And for me, one of the big reasons why I decided to run was that as a residential taxpayer, I felt that we can always increase the business tax base of our community. And that's kind of been a big part of my involvement on City Council, is to encourage and promote and make it easier for development to occur, commercial development to occur in our community, to increase that tax base and diversify that tax base. And so I think we've made significant strides the last few years. We've had a collective great group of council members and mayor where we've really truly accomplished a lot of things that there were somewhat kind of stumbling blocks for previous councils. Working new contracts with our union personnel, firefighters and police was a big accomplishment for us. The fact that we were able to push along some initiatives like the downtown renovation for a market, a farmer's market. It's been a great experience to be part of those meetings, to help nudge it, and to the point where we have a developer involved is just a great feeling to have been part of that. And others, I mean, I think our park system, we've continued to support our park system to add a new community center, for example, that we negotiated with the Metropolitan Community Colleges. So I'm proud of all those things and just being able to help make a difference in many aspects. I love definitely spending time with my family. We have 3 daughters and they're all fairly active, in some in sports and other extracurricular activities. But for me, I love being outdoors. I love the trails, I love riding my bike, and I love playing golf. And we have awesome amenities and options within our community to have that kind of a lifestyle. This June will be 25 years that my wife and I have lived in Lee Summit and have raised 3 daughters in this community. I know this city has incredible, talented residents that come from all different walks of life, very diverse group of families in our community, that it's so rewarding to be involved on a government level or some kind of civic commission or committee, that in many cases you get out of it more than you put in. And I truly live by that, and I believe that.
Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday, December 13th, 2023 Community and Economic Development Committee. I'm now call this meeting to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Chair Edson?
Here.
Vice Chair Pryor?
Here.
Councilmember Hodges?
Here.
Councilmember Felker? Planning Commissioner Arth?
Here.
Thank you. Could I have an approval of the agenda, please?
Chair.
Councilmember Hodges?
I move to approve the agenda. Second.
I have a motion to approve the agenda by Councilmember Hodges, a second by Councilmember Pryor. Could I have a roll call, please?
Vice Chair Pryor?
Aye.
Councilmember Hodges? Chair Edson?
Aye. Thank you. I don't believe we have any public comments. Have any been submitted? No. Thank you. And on to the first item of business, the approval of the November 8th action letter.
Chair.
Councilmember Hodges.
I move for the approval of the November 8th, 2023 Community and Economic Development Action Letter. Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Hodges and a second by Councilmember Pryor to approve the November 8th action letter. Could I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Hodges?
Aye.
Chair Edson?
Aye.
Vice Chair Pryor?
Aye.
Thank you. On to the first ordinance, TMP-2838, an ordinance authorizing the execution of a memorandum of understanding by and between the City of Lee Summit, Missouri and the Blue Springs R4 School District for the Impact Program. Major Nicole Waters from LSPD.
What you have in front of you is an MOU with the City of Lee Summit and Blue Springs School District. It's substantially similar to the MOU that we have with Lee Summit School District in teaching impact exclusively in the schools now. Previously, we had DARE. We've had a lot of feedback from Lee Summit School District with the success of the program, so we've presented it to Blue Springs lessons, how it relates to their students, and they've accepted that, and so that's what we're looking at.
Thank you. Any questions? So is that just for the 3 Blue Springs schools that lie within the
Yes,
Lee Summit
Boy
boundaries?
Spears and Chapel Lakes.
Chapel Lakes?
Yes. Also doing introductory lessons for 2nd and 4th graders.
Oh, okay. So does Blue Springs Police Department do it in the rest of the district, or are they still doing DARE?
They have SROs in the rest of the district. I'm not sure if they're going to do impact in the rest of the district and the things that lie outside of our school district. So outside of our city limits, I should say.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any further questions? Oh, Commissioner Arth.
So the Lee Summit Police Department will train the Blue Springs on, is that how it works?
No, we actually will teach in those schools. Yes,
okay.
Our officers will teach in those schools.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
If there's no further questions, could I have a motion on the ordinance, please?
Chair.
Councilmember Pryor.
I move to forward to council for approval and ordinance number TMP 2838, an ordinance authorizing the execution of a memorandum of understanding by and between the City of Lee Summit, Missouri and Blue Springs. That's why I did. R4 School District for the Impact Program. That's right. Yep, second.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Pryor and a second by Councilmember Hodges to recommend to council for approval TMP-2838. Could I have a roll call vote, please?
Chair Edson?
Aye.
Vice Chair Pryor?
Aye.
Councilmember Hodges?
Aye.
And it passes. Thank you, Major
Thank
Walters.
you. Don't feel bad. I had to look it up before I came up as well.
There are days that I just feel older and older every day.
I should probably learn Roman numerals, but I don't. And the next ordinance has several, just so you know.
3, 5.
Oh, 3.
All right.
She said 9.
What?
She said 9. 3, 5, 9.
Well, fortunately, we have no Roman numerals on our agenda. So now we'll go to item C, a discussion on the temporary sign ordinance. Josh Johnson.
Thank you. Josh Johnson, Director of Development Services. I'm here tonight. We came to you in September to talk about our temporary sign part of our code. There's a bit of cleanup that needs to be done. Here are some bullet points of various items we discussed in September. There's code cleanup issues. We have temporary signs with no time limit, so they're both temporary and permanent, which I wish I could do that with my vacation, but Ryan won't let me. We also have kind of some non-content neutral sign code, which there's been recent court cases that went all the way up to the Supreme Court that said you really need to regulate signs not based on what they say. And that's really a First Amendment issue right now. So that was the reason we pursued this. After that CEDC meeting, we received direction to kind of keep going and refine what we were doing. And so that's why we're back tonight. And really, we're looking for permission to move on to the Planning Commission at this point, if you agree with kind of the road we've gone down at this point. We also went to surrounding communities to see what their standards were. So you can see there what I just mentioned. There are 15 days to unlimited for temporary signs. Our partners, Blue Springs, Lenexa, not partners, our neighboring communities, Blue Springs, Lenexa, and Olathe, and Overland Park, they're in the same ballpark, I would say, or the same sort of average there. And I think we are the outlier amongst those communities with regard to temporary signs. And so one reason to do this is when you go along a road or a right-of-way, we don't just want it littered with signs. As a for instance, I think this is one of the best examples here. You see the flailing, inflatable arm flailing tube man there. And
everyone loves those, Josh.
I know. Brian's a big fan. We talk about it all the time. And I think with that, yard signs, obviously that's going to be a big hot topic here in a little bit and through the next couple of years due to various political races. You can see here, again, we've got, I think, sign sizes that are consistent, but confusion about how long you can have them. And this is kind of what we present. This is what we presented in September. These are examples of stake signs. This is how we define them now. I think this is mostly what you see in residential areas. You know, during COVID, we had a lot of the signs that said "hang in there," things like that. These are banner signs. These can be allowed on a temporary basis. We've had various questions over the years about these, you know, anchoring them so that during certain events, you can have them up and you leave the anchors in and you only get so many of those per year. I think a lot of businesses, you know, like to do that. These are pretty popular, you know, tax accountants there, putting these up when the busy time occurs with various, you know, special sales, things of that nature. So just to go through some, I'll hit high level areas we've tried to clean up. The sign code is pretty bad about this, I'll say, where you'll have an area that's very dense with definitions. Then on one of them, it says, see this other section. So banner signs are one of those examples. And so we've tried to move that up with the other definitions was really what we did here. Interrupt me if you see something here you want to dive deeper into. And obviously, I'll be available for questions at the end of the presentation. Again, our temporary sign table is located in the permanent signs section of the code, so moving that and clarifying that language is just something we wanted to do. It drives somebody with kind of a code nerd type of mind nuts, but I think somebody opening our sign code for the first time, it's very confusing. This is Division V. Anyway, I would have made that joke, but for the
V is 5, okay?
Star Wars has always helped me with that. So this is some cleanup to the actual temporary signs kind of outline part of the code. It has kind of maximum time frames, 90 days, 5 days after the end of the event, and that's the kind of basic structure unless noted otherwise, and that's really to clarify. This is the cleaned up code without the red line. And again, going back to the banners, we've got the definition in the definition section, and this is kind of what you can't do. You know, we don't want them made of a terrible material, just like some, you know, cotton thing that's spray painted kind of whipping around in the wind. I think no one would want that in our city, strung all over the place. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about this. What this does, where it says Section D currently contains requirements for sign based on content. That's the sign that says during a time of election, you can have one sign per candidate per issue. We're trying to basically remove that because that's really a content-based regulation. And what we're trying to say is you can have a maximum number of signs, and then the size of them, obviously, and the type. Think those stake signs. And then 90 days and then 5 days after the event is over, you need to remove it, if that makes sense. Now, I will say from an overall timing perspective, we are not proposing to have this enacted between now and the election in April. That doesn't make sense to me, or really anybody. What I would suggest is getting through this process and delaying the effective date to sometime after the current election, so that also when we have sine die, that it's not kind of left on the table and all our efforts have to go back to square one. So. These are the new tables with the new standards. This is the residential section, and you can see there only up to 4 signs allowed, just period. So there's no content-based things okay, how many candidates do I have? How many issues are on the ballot? Things like that. It's just 4. So that's the salient part of that, I would say. Commercial areas, again, 4 signs. So that's the major part of the cleanup. And you were supposed to get Amy Nassif here. She had something else to attend to tonight, but you got me instead. But she was responsible for this code cleanup. So when you see her, let her know what you think. So our recommendation is to use this draft language and continue on with the process. Where we're at now is we're back at CEDC. It's in this loop right here. And so we're asking for permission to go on and hold the 2 public hearings to get this adopted in the UDO. With that, I'd love to take some questions.
Josh, would you mind going almost all the way back to the beginning? What? There, right there.
Sure.
Okay. So under ours, we have the max duration. Okay, are these all signs or just temporary signs?
Temporary signs.
Okay, so 15 days to unlimited. So when does a temporary sign become a permanent sign?
That's the issue we're trying to I think, address here.
Okay.
Because you've got various parts of the code that say, hey, here's a temporary sign standard and it has no time limit. And so we're trying to clean that up. And again, to reduce clutter. And what we do is we keep the standards you may or may not be familiar with now, that you can't have it in the right of way. It needs to be 11 feet back from the edge of the curb, or edge of pavement, excuse me. And it can't be in a clear vision triangle. So our neighborhood services officers now, when they're out and about, they'll pull over and they'll pull signs that are in the right of way. The various, if you've seen them, the luggage sales, what's another one? I've seen mattress sales for some reason. Those are all over. We pull those as much as we can.
Yeah.
I think you get that in your weekly report, actually, how many we pull. So.
Yeah. Okay. I apologize if I missed that. I got caught up in focusing on this and then I may have missed it elsewhere. Okay. Are there any questions? Billy? Commissioner? No? Councilmember Pryor?
No, I feel like the last time we had the discussion, we gave feedback, and I feel like, did you say Ms. Nassif is the one that put all this together? I feel like she did a good job putting it all together.
Yeah, she wrote the memo that's in your packet, and I know y'all read that, thank you. And yeah, she did the code changes, she did the presentation, so.
But I didn't see, and maybe it's because it's under an ordinance elsewhere, anything related to like murals. Is that totally different?
Totally different issue. Is that something we need to look
No,
at there? Okay.
no, not if it's not a problem. I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Sorry, it's been a rough week. No other questions? Well, I think you've got direction to move on to Planning Commission, it sounds like. Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Arth, were you gonna say something? No?
Okay, thank you.
Go for that? Okay. And I appreciate staff not wanting to push this so it's effective the April election. Because the information's already in the candidates' packets, and I think it would just look really bad if we went, hey, guess what? We changed the rules, and here are the new rules. And I think that'd be a problem.
Yeah, no one wants that, so.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Look at that. All right. Any roundtable? Apparently later we need to have a discussion about Roman numerals. Okay. Yeah.
Well, that we do want to discuss or put on the time, or a time to discuss design standards and actually hash that out?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, would you like to slot that in for a future CEDC? Is that what you're thinking? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
If
So,
we could.
I think what we can do on that is outline some options for how we'd execute that. Good thing for us is, I believe Amy, our deputy director, just executed one of those in Olathe, a very extensive effort. So I think, her and I can kind of collectively talk about that with you and get some, I think, clear ideas of what's involved with that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Well, and also, Councilmember Felker, and I'm sorry he's not here, but he had some last minute things come up. I had asked for some numbers on multifamily and single family that went out in an email.
Okay.
Anything else? No? Mr. Johnson, do you have anything else for us?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I don't. I was
No,
just
that's okay.
listening to what you were saying.
No,
and
that's
writing
okay.
it down.
Anything else from staff? So disappointing. All right, well, if there's nothing else, we will adjourn this meeting at 5:20. Thank you, everybody. Have a great holiday. No.